Hello, everybody, and welcome to the November 17th Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
And we have 5 races to bring you all together in 2 separate segments. Some turf races a little bit later on in that second segment, but let's get started with the first race from this past Wednesday, November 10th, and we're going to take a look at the 5-horse in here, Iberian Gate, who is the sole survivor of a pace battle here that really takes its toll.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously, trips are a funny thing when we talk about trips, and when we do the show, I mean, the last thing you need us to do is show you a horse that got steadied or checked that everybody saw and have the same kind of stuff. Here's Iberian Gate in front, and what we want to do here is we want to talk about a horse that the race dynamics were clearly against the Witz horse's running style. And no, they weren't killers in here, but she ran well in the context of this race.
She did all the way on the outside, battling with the 2 other horses down toward the inside from the lead. And Iberian Gate's a horse that actually was in New York last winter for trainer Chris Engelhardt. He claimed this one back, having since lost him in the interim. Claimed him back for $16,000 at Prescott back on September 15th. So this is a horse that came into this race fairly fresh, and I'm just hoping that Iberian Gate is able to run this race back, because if she is, she'll be very tough.
Yeah, and the horses that are battling inside of her, and let me point out, they're both shorter prices than she is. Now, she's 18 to 1. One was 14 to 1, but one was the 4 to 1 third choice towards the inside. Iberian Gate is still battling out here. They all finish behind her. They finish a total of 9 1/4 lengths behind. I'm sorry, 9 1/4 lengths behind her and 11 1/2 lengths behind her. So she buried these other 2 speed horses. They're just like deceased back there. And we also want to point out, you haven't seen any graphics, so we're going to have to point out the names of these horses. We have a slight graphics problem. Okay, sorry, the graphics are there, as a matter of fact. There's Iberian Gate running well to be 4th.
Yeah, the race totally falls apart. Of the horses that were running 6th, 7th, and 5th early on get up to run 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And it's not like Iberian Gate was beaten 10 lengths. After pressing that pace and setting that pace on the outside, she held in well. Like I said, fresh horse, first up to claim. You hope she holds her form for another race if you like her.
Yeah, we'll see how she does. And like anything, you want to see where they end up. If she ends up in another race with those 3 other speed horses, it might not be easy. But she may end up in a more forgiving spot the next time she runs. And out of all the horses from this race, I think she's the only one you want from this race.
Absolutely, no argument there. Let's take a look at the second race, actually, from Wednesday. This is a maiden race, and we'll take a look at a couple of horses, Tap Attack and the 3 Grey Foos.
Yeah, I mean, they're sort of towards the inside. Right here, they're both close to lead. The eventual winner, for what it's worth, is well back there. And that horse runs an amazing race, and we're not suggesting, nor would we suggest that either of these horses were beating the 53 to 1 Litigate who won this race. But the 3 horse in this race, Grey Foos, was a first over Gary Contessa, bet down to 3 to 2. The 2 horse Tap Attack had run, and this horse was 10 to 1. They both end up getting in a lot of traffic trouble. And I think they were 2 horses that, even though when they got sort of clear at the end, I think both of them were sort of intimidated and had enough of trying to fight themselves through traffic.
I agree 100%. I think they get, to this point, they're getting pretty good trips in here behind, an okay pace, and they're saving some ground, stalking the pace here. But, all that goes for naught when you turn to the top of the stretch and you have no room to run.
Yeah, I mean, they're really in trouble. And Grey Foos, this is Junior Alvarado's a new rider here. He's a good rider. I think he just got kind of unlucky here. I felt like Tap Attack was overly committed to the inside, and maybe they could have tried a little more to get out. They've lined up here behind, and they're behind horses now. It's only going to get worse, so we'll continue to show the stretch. Neither rider can ride them. I mean, Tap Attack is completely blocked in behind horses, and Edgar has to wait to get around. I thought that Grey Foos was intimidated behind horses here.
Yeah, very possible in that kind of triangle behind horses there. And just, for a horse making a first start, it's just very tough to go on from there. And I still think he's even intimidated a little bit here, having not too much room in front of him. And just, at that point, the race has kind of already gotten away from him.
Yeah, and here they are. They're there. And it's much more, because it's obvious with Tap Attack as we roll it, and you saw it in the pan, that she's blocked in this race. I thought he's blocked. I thought that Grey Foos, it's like now he tries to go inside, and the horse comes over, and it's like he wants to go outside, and it's just like whatever the sort of rider tried to do, he just got absolutely skunked here. It was bad luck. We like to bet, firsters that get bet heavily that don't run well are often interesting bet backs the next time, and you can make excuses for these. They weren't beating Litigate, but Litigate benefited from circling the field while these horses got jammed up in behind.
I agree, and Grey Foos, I think you're likely going to have to face a short price him again next time, just because he was betting this race. The people that were on board will notice the trip and come back with him. Tap Attack might be, the more interesting price prospect. Not to say he's going to turn out to be the better horse, but as far as the price prospect goes, I think he might be a little bit more, more value next time out.
I agree. I'd be very interested in him in a similar spot.
All right, one more race to bring you in this first segment. Also a maiden race for 2-year-olds. We'll head to a Saturday's card, the second race, looking at Laboru, a first-time starter for trainer Todd Pletcher here, and also for the four-horse Kanagaro.
Yeah, these were the two favorites in this race. They finished first and third in here. A couple of comments. Obviously, you've got Laboru right there, and you've got Kanagaro. We'll try to get his name right, sitting well back there. I got to tell you, I don't want anybody from this race. This was a subpar maiden special weight for 2-year-old races. We get some good maiden specials run here at Aqueduct this time of year as we get later in the season. I don't think this was the case in here, and I know the winner was expensive. Half to Ashado and other good horses. Kanagaro has been betting his starts. I don't want these horses going forward.
Yeah, I thought Kanagaro had the rough trip here. Obviously, you see the eventual winner, Laboru, sitting right off the pace there, and really going to get the easiest kind of trip you could ever want for a 2-year-old first, to just kind of stalking a pace that's really not all that fast, and being able to take control from there. But I thought the 4 Kanagaro was just kind of backed up, down inside, and the rider's got to wait here, tap on the brakes a little bit. Things just don't unfold well, but you do have a good point there that this horse has already run twice, and doesn't seem like the strongest field you're going to see at maidens here at Aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, I have absolutely no argument with anything you said. Kanagaro just got himself shuffled back and out of position in this race, and you've got the eventual winner sitting that sort of candy trip up front. Kanagaro did not exactly get that same kind of trip. So, yeah, I would say of these horses, now maybe you say the winner's a first-time starter, he has more upside. We'll see. He also was cranked up to win the first time, and I took a lot of money here. Maybe he doesn't have as much upside. I just feel like Kanagaro's the kind of horse that's going to be burning money just all the time. He's always going to get bad. He's a West Point horse. And it's like I think he
everyone's right there in the finish, too. There's 5 horses within a couple lengths.
Yeah, with first-time starters, and these horses had experience, I'm going to stay away from horses out of this race in general.
All right, I think that might be the way to go. We'll see what happens there. But in any case, keep your viewer comments coming. We love to hear your emails, or read your emails, I should say. Trips and traps at NYRank.com.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We love getting the help.
Come on back for the second segment.